This is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I'm Jenna Basonko. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. At the opening of a two-day forum on disability rights organized by the National Human Rights Commission, stakeholders called on government to accelerate the implementation of the Disabilities Act. The National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, on Tuesday organized a press briefing to shed light on the token identifier rollover for all cash power meters to take effect from November 2024. We hear from health experts on the commemoration of World Polio Day, which is observed annually on October 24th. In international news, America announced on Monday that it was cutting all aid to Gabon in response to the 30th of August coup d'etat in the Central African country. And in sports news, the first vice president of the Gambia Volleyball Federation, Lamin Jammeh, tells us why the Gambia missed out on the Beach Volleyball World Championship in Morocco earlier this month. Now, those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you so much for joining us at the opening of a two-day forum on disabilities rights organized by the National Human Rights Commission. Stakeholders called on government to accelerate the implementation of the Disabilities Act. And Sumani Sonyasi was there, and this is his report.
At least 7.8% of the population, which is over 208,000 people in the Gambia, are said to suffer from disability, out of which 68% are unemployed and not in the education sector. This, among others, prompted this two-day forum of stakeholders spearheaded by the National Human Rights Commission to highlight and address some of the challenges. The theme for the forum is advancing the rights of persons with disabilities in the Gambia. Emmanuel Daniel Juf, chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, and Seraphine Wakana, UN country representative, commended government for instituting series of reforms that seek to empower persons with disabilities by promoting and protecting their rights. However, they say despite the gains registered, there remains many challenges that continue to affect PWDs in the Gambia, and called for the implementation of the Disability Act.
And while we recognize the fact that the government has established the Advisory Committee for Persons with Disabilities, the Act still does not have a commencement date, and as a result, its provisions have not been implemented since it received the presidential assent.
We are aware that persons with disabilities continue to face stigma and discrimination and exclusion, resulting in non-enjoyment of their rights with adverse effects on their overall well-being and potential.
Magistrate Mohamed Krubali, chairperson of the Gambia Federation for the Disabled, and Sehu Sanyang, permanent secretary at the Ministry of Gender and Social Welfare, also highlighted challenges persons with disabilities face and called on stakeholders closely collaborate in advancing their rights.
Having signed the UN Convention in 2015, and by extension have a domesticated legislation of Persons with Disabilities Act in 2021, contains pertinent fundamental human rights and freedoms, and of course which are equal or equally universal, interdependent, indivisible, and inherent, that must be upheld by the Gambia government and its agencies.
We also need to account for persons with invisible disabilities, whose needs and voices are often left unconsidered and unheard. The government of the Gambia, in partnership with development partners, state parties, civil society organizations, and all other relevant authorities, would continue to promote policies and create the enabling environment for persons with disabilities.
The Gambia ratified international instruments that seek to advance the rights of persons with disabilities, and in 2021 enacted the Disability Bill. However, despite these gains, challenges such as stigma and discrimination across various fronts in society still exist, resulting in increased invisibility due to same and other cultural beliefs. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
Looking forward to its implementation. Now, moving away, the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, on Tuesday organized a press briefing to shed light on the token identifier rollover for all cash power meters to take effect from November 2024. Loli M. Camara has more.
The press briefing was organized to inform the public about the development and to dispel misinformation trending on social media. NAWEC, together with all electricity providers around the world, are preparing for the TID, token identifier, rollover for cash power meters that are already in their systems. NAWEC officials say a task force has already been set up by the management to implement the project from November 2024, when all existing TIDs will expire. Nani Juara, the managing director of NAWEC, explains.
Tokens that are being used now, that is being generated by our vending systems, will not be accepted by our meters by the 24th of November 2024, latest. That's the latest date that they have notified all utilities around the world that we have to endeavor to upgrade the existing meters that we have, so that at least when we upgrade those meters, by the 24th of November, all these meters will be accepting any token that is generated by our vending systems, provided the meters are upgraded.
Ibrahima Wajob is the project manager for the token identifier rollover.
First phase is with the staff that we're starting immediately now. Our second phase we would be starting with the North Bank and LRR regions. The third one, we are going to the URR CRR region. Then the fourth phase would be in the Greater Banjul area, and the fifth phase would be in the West Coast region.
Both the managing director of NAWEC and project manager for token identifier rollover assured the public of NAWEC's continuous support during the process.
Now, the misconception around town, that when you buy your token now, if you do not insert it in a week or 2 days, it will expire. All of these things are unfounded. All that we are doing, once the implementation phase reaches your area, all that you will realize as a consumer is when you buy your tokens, instead of the 20-digit numbers that you are traditionally afraid with, now you will be issued 3 sets of 20-digit numbers.
This video from the Standard Transfer Specification, STS, explains exactly why this is necessary and what will happen.
All utilities and municipalities are obliged to upgrade their vending system to the STS Edition 2 specification. And every STS-compliant prepayment meter installed globally must be reset. This process involves resetting the memory and the key of each prepayment meter before the 24th of November 2024.
NAWEC officials are assuring the public that there is no adverse implication for customers regarding the upgrade, and they encouraged users to call 1669 for further inquiries. In addition to information from NAWEC, there is a global site for anyone wanting further information. It is www.tidrollover.com. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
World Polio Day is observed on October 24th every year to raise awareness of the importance of polio vaccination to protect every child from this devastating disease, and to celebrate many parents and professionals and volunteers whose contributions make polio eradication achievable. Jordan Jai has more.
To celebrate this year's World Polio Day, supporters from countries around the world joined the Make Polio History campaign to tell global partners, donors and polio-affected country governments that eradication is possible and urgently needed now. Here is Dr. Mandy Cohen, Director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
It is inspiring to see what we can achieve when we work together. The eradication of polio is within sight, and we must add it to the list of the greatest achievements of mankind. It won't be easy, but making history never is. We have the tools and knowledge to ensure no child is paralyzed by polio again. Together, let's deliver another historic win for humanity and end polio today.
The The theme for this year World Polio Day not only acknowledges the progress made in the fight to eradicate the disease, it also emphasizes the dedication to continue with the commitment towards a brighter and healthier future for mothers and children. Polio usually targets children below the age of 5 and is caused by a highly infectious virus known as the poliovirus, which causes permanent damage to the victim's nervous system. 2 weeks ago, the Ministry of Health, in partnership with the World Health Organization, organized a forum on polio-related integrated disease surveillance for more than 50 participants from various African countries. This high-level convergence brought together 11 Francophone countries to discuss and build capacities of their members on the integrated polio surveillance in the African region. In that forum, Dr. Desta Turoni, the WHO country representative, spoke of the need for African countries to strengthen surveillance systems to fight the disease.
As we work towards the ultimate goal of polio eradication, it's crucial that we maintain a sensitive and efficient polio surveillance system globally. This will allow us to promptly detect any resurgence of viruses and provide evidence of its absence also if we manage to contain all the transmission.
Following the discovery of the type 2 polio virus in the country in August 2021 in environmental sewage samples from Banjul and Kotu, the Ministry of Health declared a public health emergency and embarked on a vaccination campaign in November 2021 and in April and May 2023 for all the children under 5 years. According to the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, the Gambia is no longer affected by circulating vaccine-driven poliovirus 2, but remains vulnerable to reinfection. By eradicating the polio menace, mothers will be able to enjoy their pregnancy without the anxiety that their children are going to be affected by such a serious disease. In addition, a world without polio allows children to achieve their maximum growth and development potential in a healthier and more optimistic environment. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
From that story by Julden Jai on World Polio Day, we'll go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have some more local, international and sports news. Do stay with us.
waaw du gis ngeen daw si ba mu amee sikki sàkkane armante mi dañoo wecc ay cafkaam ba ñu ko ubbilee siwo bi ba xet gi dugg ko cam billahi la mu yëg bari na armante ñaar fukki at ak nangam ba mu ne cëpp ci réew mi ba tey mësula wecc doxalin mësula wecc cafkaan
bu leen ci am benn ñaari xel man mii di jaay lépp luy produit gi armante rek am naa ko am na 500 millilitres 1000 millilitres ak 5 kilos ba noppi nag am 750 ml bi nga xam ne mi ngi toj réew mi gis nga armante Evaprotect milk bi mooy mos dolli te armante spaghetti bii ngay gis moo dàq ci spaghetti yi
gis nga armante bota margarine bi noonu la gënee ci yow mi nga xamante ne yaa ngi jaay tàngane ci Johnson bi kombi fi armante la dugal sa waa ñoddi sa kombi bi gis ngeen lii sardañ la da nga gis góobi jën bi dafa neex gis nga meew ko ndig mil bi armante ko fi indi moom mi dafa sakkan xoolal xale bi nu muy naanee banana milk bi gis ngeen flamingo oil bi dem leen ci bépp boutique bépp supermarket ci bépp marché
armante ki prodogam kenn mënu koo ceeñ
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I'm Jenna Basonko. Now, the University of the Gambia held its 12th matriculation ceremony for the academic year 2023 to 2024 at its Canifing campus on Wednesday, presided over by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Herbert Robinson. Aliou Cisse witnessed the event, and he files this report.
The Vice-Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, Professor Herbert Robinson, is welcoming these fresh new students here at the University of the Gambia. It is a tradition that every year the university will organize this event for these new students to declare their loyalty to the University of the Gambia, which is being administered by the Registrar of the University of the Gambia. These students from different schools of the University of the Gambia are here to pursue different fields as part of acquiring the required knowledge to contribute to national development. The students took the declaration of loyalty administered by Maud Lamin Taro, the long-serving registrar at the University of the Gambia. Professor Herbert Robinson, Vice-Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, said the event marks the beginning of a challenging but rewarding chapter in what he calls the transformative journey, not only for these students from different schools, but also for the university as a learning institution committed to nurturing the future leaders of the country.
Your presence here marks the beginning of an exciting and challenging chapter. The decision to pursue higher education is a significant one, and we commend all of you for choosing the University of the Gambia as the place to further your academic aspirations.
Vice Chancellor Robinson said the admission for the first semester 2023-2024 academic year, like previous years, has been very competitive, with the UTG receiving 1,644 applications. However, due to limited space, they could only admit 748, of which 435 are males, representing 58%, and 336 are females, representing 42%.
As you progress through your studies, you will not only gain knowledge, but also a deeper understanding of the world and your place in it. We have assembled here competent, experienced professors, lecturers, administrators, and other professionals to ensure that your stay at UTG is productive and enjoyable.
Matriculants Maud Lamin Diouf, Amadou Oba, first-year students, and Ramatulai Jata, a second-year student, respectively, expressed delight at undergoing this custom and promised to live by the declaration made and be good ambassadors.
So I think this is an honor to be part of the students that are allowed into the University of the Gambia, and I do hope that my stay here would not only benefit me and my family, but the country at large.
It's a proud moment for me, Aliou, and my family, and to be able to come to this level of my academic career and be officially unveiled or admitted into the University of the Gambia.
Now that we have taken the oaths, I believe we should know what to do and what not to do, our limits and all of that. I think it's a very important message for all of us, especially all of those that are able to take the oath and we are here and we'll listen to what he said. I think we should absorb that message very well and then put it into practice as well.
Recognizing the importance of students as key stakeholders, the university's management, under the leadership of the Vice Chancellor and the Ministry of Higher Education, remain focused on continuously improving the curriculum and providing opportunities for practical experience through internship and graduation skills. The management is also working on staff development and institutional strengthening programs for the long-term sustainability of the university and space expansion with the completion of the first phase of the new facilities at the Faraba Banda campus. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Now, congratulations and good luck to the students. Now, let's take a look at news behind our borders. After temporarily closing its foreign assistance to the Gabonese people last month, America announced on Monday that it was cutting all aid to Gabon in response to the 30th of August coup d'etat in the Central African country. Jordan Jai has more.
The U.S. government, which had already halted part of its foreign aid at the end of September, formally declared that as a coup d'etat had taken place in Gabon. Under U.S. laws, this means the end of all non-humanitarian aid to the country. We will resume our assistance at the same time as concerted actions are taken by the transition government to establish a democratic regime, State Department spokesman Matthew Miller said in a statement. The United States,
supports the people of Gabon in their aspirations for democracy, prosperity and stability, he added. On 30th August, the Gabonese army overthrew President Ali Bongo Ondimba, who had been in power for 14 years, in a coup d'etat denounced by the international community. Bongo Ondimba had been declared the winner of a presidential election widely criticized for irregularities. Ali Bongo had been in power since 2009, having succeeded his father Omar Bongo, who had died in office after ruling for more than 40 years. The coup brings to a close almost 60 years of dynastic rule in Gabon. The Central African country of 2 million people symbolizes what has been called the African paradox, in common with several countries in Africa. All of these countries are rich in natural resources, and yet they are at the bottom of the poverty line. Gabon is the fourth largest oil producer in sub-Saharan Africa, but a third of its population lives below the poverty line, while the toppled president is said to have amassed an estimated $2 billion personal fortune. Although Gabon holds multi-party elections, many analysts have said that Ali Bongo maintained political dominance through a combination of patronage and repression. His previous election wins were attributed to fraud, according to the opposition. In 2016, deadly clashes which saw the parliament building gutted by fire followed the announcement of his victory. His 2019 win was also marked by dispute and an attempted coup. Bongo claimed he had been persuaded to seek election again, despite suffering a stroke which left him partially paralyzed down one side of his body. The coup in Gabon was the 8th in West and Central Africa since 2020, and no doubt will be seen by many as another example of democratic backsliding in a volatile continent. In many of the countries where there have been military takeovers, the ruling junta has not specified when or if they intend to restore civilian rule. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
From that story by Julden Jai, let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. The first vice president of the Gambia Volleyball Federation says the Gambia missed out on the Beach Volleyball World Championship in Mexico earlier this month due to visa refusal. Momotu Kajaka has more.
Speaking about why he and one athlete, Jahara Koita, were refused visas, Lamin Jammeh, the first vice president of the Gambia Volleyball Federation, says they've provided all the required documents.
And it was a huge blow. And then, in fact, it has caught us unsurprised because we have never imagined that we will get to that level and be denied a visa to go and compete in a competition where we deserve to be there as among the best 3 African champions in beach volleyball. And then we have also been given the invitation later by the Mexican Federation so that we can be able to go, because these are the protocols.
The decision means that by not participating, Gambia's ranking will drop drastically as they were among the top 3 in Africa in beach volleyball. After the visa refusals, the Gambia Volleyball Federation protested to the Federation of International Volleyball (FIVB) and the Mexican authorities. According to Mr. Jammeh, the authorities later reversed the initial decision to refuse them visas, by which time it was too late to travel.
Ministry of Youth and Sport, we are equally involved, but yet the lady at the embassy proves to be very, very difficult with all those things. Until at a later date, on the 5th, when our first game is to be on the 6th, on the 5th, then they decided to change their mind and said, okay, now they will be ready to issue the visa.
Gambia will participate in the FIVB Under-21 World Beach Championship in Thailand, scheduled from the 8th to the 12th of November 2023. They will go into this competition as African champions. Lamin Jammeh says, although it doesn't make up for it, this is like a redemption for what happened over the Mexico trip.
This is the first time in the history of Gambia volleyball in general to get to that level and then come as African champions. Our Under-21 went to Morocco with so many other high caliber teams from various countries, and then we are able to defeat all of them, our main team, and then they become the African champion for the first time, and then our female team equally performed very well and they become the bronze medalists. So by virtue of their performance, they were all qualified to go to the World Championship.
Gambia's athletes and officials frequently face enormous challenges in both processing visas and travel arrangements for international competitions. In a recent incident, the Gambia team missed out on the Youth Commonwealth Games in Trinidad and Tobago due to late processing of visas. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Now, good luck, Team Gambia. Before we leave, let's recap our main headlines. At the opening of a two-day forum on disability rights organized by the National Human Rights Commission, stakeholders called on government to accelerate the implementation of the Disabilities Act. The National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, on Tuesday organized a press briefing to shed light on the token identifier rollover for all cash power meters to take effect from November 2024. We heard from health experts on the commemoration of World Polio Day, which is observed annually in October 24th, to raise awareness of the importance of polio vaccination and protection. In international news, after temporarily closing its foreign assistance to Gabonese people last month, America announced on Monday that it was cutting all aid to Gabon in response to the 30th of August coup d'etat in the Central African country. And in sports news, the first vice president of the Gambia Volleyball Federation, Lamin Jammeh, says the Gambia missed out on the Beach Volleyball World Championship in Mexico earlier this month due to visa refusals. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.